Thank you for joining us today and watching this video. If you have come across this video, then thank you. We're talking to Jill Shepherd today from a little church in Benfleet, Thundersley Christian Spiritualist Church. And Jill has a very, very interesting story. This something that's happened recently at the church, within the church grounds. And we've got a fairy garden included in the story. We've got a moss man and a healing portal. So yeah, if we go back to the beginning of where it all started to come about, Jill, I think that was you gardening at the church, wasn't it?
Yes, I was helping my husband. We've been looking after the church garden since last year, and this particular day I was there just looking round the garden while he was planting some bulbs, because we weren't going to be there long that day. And I found myself looking round the back, an area I hadn't really gone into before. And for some reason, I was drawn to some stones that were covered in this beautiful green moss. And for some reason, I just had to climb down there and pick it out. And I thought, oh, this would be perfect to put in the designated area for our fairy garden. I thought it would look nice, sort of like a carpeted area around the fairy garden. And I found two pieces and placed them in the where the tree stumps were. I thought nothing more of it. And then I had a session with my medium friend, Laura, and she gives me Rahani before we have a spiritual lesson.
So Rahani, Jill, is that a type of healing? Is it that Rahani?
It's a healing, yeah. We normally do a Zoom call, and she does it through the Zoom call, and then we go on to do our lesson for the day.
Lovely.
This particular week, it was 2 weeks later after this incident at the church garden, I went to her home for the session, and she was giving me Rahani, and then all of a sudden she looked at her left and she went, "Oh, who are you?" And I thought, "Oh, what's going on?" And she said that there was a man that was showing himself as a moss man, and she'd never seen this before. And so he started to communicate with her, and she wrote down. She said, "Oh, I've got to get my pen and paper," because she channels spirit and guides, and she's never come across I don't know what you'd call him, an entity or whatever. And she so she wrote down his message. I've got it written down here. Do you want me to read it?
That would be lovely. So a channeled message from Mossman.
A channeled message from Mossman. He gave the name. His name was Bantomin. And he showed himself as a green energy, an earthly colour, an earthly being. He displays himself to be of an image, the Mossman, as he is an earthly guardian. He is one of many hundreds on the earth plane which can travel through many time zones.
Wow.
My purpose of joining you today is I have waited for you, as I used to talk to you when you were 6. This is referring to me. In this, you had a brother. He didn't make the earth plane. He was 2 years older than you. His name was Geoffrey. He is also aware of my kind. My ability is to come and assist you with changes in development, to make sure every stage moving upwards is done with a clearer connection to Mother Earth. Now that you are aware of me, you can connect. When you feel you will need extra connection to below the earth, I can harness you at a deeper level, and I can be your grounding assistant. Today's purpose is because you have left your comfort zone. That's because I went to Laura's house and not through the Zoom at home.
Oh, okay.
You have been allocated a special place. You and those you trust must use that space. You needed to touch. So that was the day I touched the moss stones he's referring to there.
Wow.
When there is any kind of tragedy in the world, this space can be used as a portal to send healing directly to the space or the place or the person. 5 large steps in all directions from that area in a circle. Place incense cones, intention prayers, gratitude for all that you and your wondrous kind do, that none of us would dare to dream about. Amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing. At what point? So when Laura was channeling that to you in that session, out of nowhere, and I assume we have spoken about this before. You didn't tell Laura about the finding of the moss stone and about that special little area that you'd kind of built up in the church garden.
I hadn't really told anyone. I didn't even tell David because I thought he might think I was silly clambering round the back looking for some moss stones. Well, I wasn't looking for them. They just caught my attention. So it's fascinating.
And actually, the bit that you climbed down, I know the bit that you mean. It's quite a rough ground, isn't it? It's like you have to go down the kind of ditch really to get down to that area.
Yeah. So I mean, I was mad because I nearly fell over at one point, and I thought, why am I doing this?
But there were these moss-covered stones, and then the following week you get this message channeled.
2 weeks later, I had
Wow.
that message. Because
it's just crazy.
He said about the moss man and moss, then I thought, hang on, moss, that's interesting. And that's when it came back to me what I'd done 2 weeks before.
And he was talking about a special place that you touched.
Exactly.
And that being, we can share photos if you are watching this and you're interested. We've got some photos of the area that Jill and other members of the church have been working on. And there was some tree stumps, and I think it was decided by yourself, and I might have been a little bit included in that, to keep these stumps in the ground, because we thought we could kind of build that up and make that like a nice little fairy garden for maybe some kids who come to the church might be able to go out there. And you even mentioned the idea of putting a handprint on the woodwork so that you could put your hands on this place and either receive healing or put a worry or send a prayer or make a fairy wish. That was the kind of thing that you were talking about, and I remember that conversation. So then to receive this message channeled from Bantomin, talking about the place that you touched, it's pretty incredible, isn't it?
Very special, yeah. I can't believe it's happened, really. And I
And
was
you,
trying
if you
to think back to when I was 6. I mean, I was an only child, so I was a bit of a loner, really. So, so he would have had plenty of opportunity, but I can't really remember. So it's interesting.
But have you always been spiritual, Jill? Have you always had that kind of that link and that connection, do you think, growing up?
I don't know, really. I know my mum was very spiritual, but I don't think I was really aware of it until I got into my teens.
Okay. Yeah. I just remember that similar for me, really. I don't really remember being spiritual in any special way as a child, but I do always, or I have always been drawn to fairies and to angels and stuff like that. If ever I saw it, I'd be, oh, you know, and be attracted to that, and crystals and things like that. So I guess
Yeah,
in a way we kind of, it's building us up to be spiritual in that way and be open to
yeah,
it. But
yeah.
um, yeah, wow. It's so have you been down there, Jill? You've been down to that area, and they've talked about it being a healing portal. So
Yeah.
has the
Well,
energy changed there? Do you feel anything different in that space?
I do feel more conscious that it's a special place now, whereas before it was just a gardening project. But
Yeah,
now, I like incense cones. I was told lavender is a good one to use, and also Bantomin told Laura to tell me to put lavender um, oil into a spray bottle with water and to
yeah.
spray the area every so often. So I've prepared that, and that's actually in the church in the kitchen. So I do that when I go down there.
Oh, that's
So
lovely.
so what we need now is a lovely bench so that we can sit, or anyone can sit, meditate, send healing down the portal. But
Yeah,
apparently we don't have to actually be there in person. We can sit at home, meditate, and
yeah.
ask Bantamin to send healing through the church portal. So that's good.
So it works, you know, in a similar way to distant healing. You know, we know that as spiritual healers and even Reiki healers, and we can do that. We can sit and send from a distance. Um, but the message that you got talked about this portal being, you know, a powerful space for healing, and that if there are any, I can't remember the exact words, but world disasters or big things going on, that you could directly send the energy through that channel.
Yeah, any
So what a
kinds of
wonderful,
tragedy, he says. Yeah,
yeah, okay, yeah.
yeah.
So
That's
that's lovely.
powerful, isn't it?
It is, and I think you know, we're reminded so many times in our daily life as spiritualists and people that kind of have those beliefs anyway. We're met with evidence all the time of spirit world. Signs are given to us often, but this one just felt it felt extra special in some way.
Yeah,
I think because of the how important I guess the church gardens are to us as a team at the church anyway,
mm,
and particularly yourself and your husband David, the amount of love and effort that's been poured into that space to get it to where it is now. I mean, it was. We'll put some pictures up with this video in the comments, but the garden was
mm,
full of all big thorny bushes, and you know we do have some little memorial spots in there as well. So
yeah.
it was difficult to look after because of all those thorny bushes and
It's quite dark
brambles.
in there,
You know.
wasn't it? And
It
the
was,
sun was
yeah,
blocking out. That
yeah,
reminds me, do you remember the photograph that I took of David when he was gardening? And when I look back at one of the images, there was like spirit or a light code or something right over the area of where the fairy garden, where this portal is. And this was
yeah, and that
last
was
year. We didn't even
that,
know.
yeah, it was a long time before. Again, that
Yeah,
little area there had been pointed out as the space that we might kind of
yeah.
focus that
That's
love.
amazing.
Um, Yeah, I mean that again. We can share that picture. It almost looked angelic, didn't it?
Yeah,
And we've had some people that work within the angelic realm say that that was it's light codes
yeah,
um, from that realm. And I think actually a couple of weeks prior to that photo being taken, we'd had a coffee morning at the church, and we'd had another lady in who worked directly with angels. Maybe that's another chat that we can have a little bit later on. Um, and she worked with a lot of people, took them out into the garden and brought in their angels and, you know, powered their angels up, if you like. And then for that picture to be taken just a little while after, again, another little sign for us from the world of spirit and all that magic that goes on behind the scenes. It's just incredible. Yeah. So
Exciting, isn't it?
it's very exciting. Yeah, it is. I think there are those big moments where things like that happen. It kind of blows you away.
Yeah.
Um,
And when I'm in that area, after I've lit the incense, I take some quiet time to sit and send prayers through the portal. I ask for blessings for the church and gratitude for the portal being in our church grounds. And then I'll sit and send healing to the world, all those in need and the animal kingdom. And it just feels so special. I feel so privileged to be a part of it. And it's so exciting to be able to share it with people. So it's good.
That's wonderful, and I guess it works the other way around as well, Jill. If people felt that they needed a little bit of upliftment, or you know, a bit of positive energy, a bit of healing energy, then they could sit within 5 meters of that little spot on the bench when we get one,
5 steps.
and
So I
5
don't know
steps
how.
around it. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
don't know if a
wonderful.
step is a meter. It's too wide for me.
Yeah. But yeah, if anyone is interested, then we do have some pictures, and we will put it into a blog that you can read and watch this space. We'll probably do a few more chats about some of those experiences and things that have happened for us at our beautiful church in Benfleet. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll speak to you soon.
Bye.